Welcome to a self-published author's diary. I am Elodie Novodatsky. I write about first times, second chances, things that scare the crap out of me, and things that make me laugh out loud. I'll be speaking with you and sharing my adventures in self-publishing, the behind the scenes of writing, and the business side of it. And before we get started today, a small message from our sponsor, Anchor. Thanks for listening. Hello, it is July 28th, Wednesday. It's about 4 p.m. and I decided to start recording my podcast episode today, and I will finishing it up tomorrow. We just got back from an amazing vacation in Vermont. We stayed a couple of days, maybe four nights. And these were the first holidays that we took since spring 2019. We did go for one weekend in September 2019 in Ocean City, Maryland. But that was it was great, but it was just like a weekend. And the last time we took more than a weekend off was in the spring of 2019. So it has been a long time coming. I mean, I've had the transplant in between, and then my husband has been working a lot of hours, and he did take a week off in June 2020, but there was the pandemic, so we didn't do anything. And since we were staying home, he still worked a lot more than what he did during those holidays. So this has been wonderful. Vermont is gorgeous. Vermont is just beautiful. And the food was delicious. We stayed at Moose Meadow Lodge, which is in Waterbury, I'm going to mispronounce this city. I think it's Montpellier is how you say it in English. Montpellier in French. And when I saw it written, I just kept on, I had to catch myself to say it not the French way. And Burlington. So it was kind of in the middle of those two cities, and it was on, I think, more than 80 acres of forest, and we climbed to a higher spot. So we did some hiking. We enjoyed the peace and quiet, and we also had delicious food. We maybe had the best pancakes we've ever had. The best pancakes. And one of the innkeepers actually sells his pancake mix, flour pancake mix. It's called Will Flour, and it's made with sweet rice flour and gluten-free oats. So it's vegan too. It's free of gluten, wheat, soy, or nuts. Again, for us, we can eat all those things, but if you cannot, it's one more reason to check it out. But really, those are just the best pancakes we've ever had. So yeah, delicious. We got a package of it to be able to make them at home. We also had, I'm gonna not talk the entire episode about food, but we also had cider donuts from a cider mill that were the best cider donut I've ever tasted. And we also had a dessert that was made with vanilla cake, and inside of it there was hot caramel. So you eat your cake, and then when you get closer to the middle, there is caramel that flows out of the cake. And on top of it, there was ice cream and apple slices. That was mouth-watering. Just thinking about it, I'm hungry. Wonderful, wonderful holidays. We also stayed with friends at the end of our trip for one night, and it was great. It was so relaxing, and, we had s'mores outside. I haven't had s'mores in forever. We had a maple creamy, which we didn't know existed, and it was delicious. We walked around also in Burlington, and this city is gorgeous. So yeah, basically we had a wonderful trip. And we also traveled not on the main roads. We also took some back roads, and we saw some really, truly beautiful, just the mountains, waterfalls, just great. So as you can tell, we had a wonderful time. And this was the reason why I did not have a podcast episode last week. And I was crossing my fingers, so I had everything planned out so that I could work in the car. I usually get motion sickness, but I thought, okay, I'm going to get those motion sickness medicine and I'm going to be fine. I'll be able to just revise in the car. I had planned to revise for at least 4 hours. I was thinking I'm going to be able to make it. As you know, I've been crunching my time with this revision because I ended up needing to do a little bit more revisions than I had planned to, which again is great because, it's in terms of time planning, it's not wonderful. But in terms of my book, it's great because my book is so much stronger thanks to this round of revision. And if you have not pre-ordered it yet, you have a bit more time, and I'm going to explain why, but it's already available right now for pre-order for only 99 cents on the e-retailer of your choice. So I could not write in the car. I tried and I started feeling sick. I started just not feeling well at all. And I was just kind of I can't. There's no point of me not really feeling bad so that I could write, knowing that anyways I could not write. When you're feeling like that, it's not like you can actually write. I could not. And then when we were on holidays, I kind of decided that I was not going to touch my document. I didn't decide it. I thought maybe I would. But then we were so busy and we were spending so much just time with my husband, just wonderful. And I didn't want to work. So I decided to not work at all so we left on Thursday and we came back on Monday. So Thursday I had planned on writing and Monday I had planned on writing in the car, but those days were not, didn't work out. So I did not work on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So basically from Thursday to yesterday, I did not touch my document. I did not touch it. I tried again in the car. So on the way, so I maybe revised 3 sentences before I started really not feeling well. So looking at that, I have decided to postpone the release of The Leftover Bride. And I am looking at postponing it for 2.5 weeks to 3 weeks. So either I'm going to postpone it until the first week of September or the last week of August. I'm kind of going back and forth with that. And I think I'm going to do the first week of September because if I'm postponing it, I might as well give myself a little tiny bit more time instead of, again, crunching everything. So with Amazon, you can postpone your pre-order, which you could not before. So before, I lost, when I had a French translator who ghosted me and did not finish translating, I had to cancel a pre-order. And I had lost all my pre-orders. And then I could not set up a pre-order again for another year. This time around, since the pandemic, I think, Amazon has changed the rules. And so basically you can postpone your pre-order up to 30 days after the original pre-order date. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And I think I'm going to be doing this either today or tomorrow. I am going to log into my KDP account and try not to feel too bad about postponing my pre-order. I did a survey in my newsletter, and if you're a newsletter subscriber, you can still respond to the survey. I'm going to send it again on Friday, the link to it on Friday, in addition to other information and some exclusive excerpt and things. So basically, I think for the next 2 weeks, because this podcast airs on the Friday I'm talking about, but for the next 2 weeks, I will add the link to the survey. So if people want to take the survey, it is very, very helpful. If you're newsletter subscribers, please take a few minutes to do it. That'd be great. But yeah, so I think I'm going to postpone it until the beginning of September. In that survey, I had a question asking, how would people feel if I postponed it? And I think I said 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, or maybe just postpone it a few weeks. I can't remember. And people were just all the people responding to my survey said they would be totally cool with it. Like, people even told me just enjoy my vacation and just like, so I think that's what's going to happen. It's not something that I enjoy doing. Again, I feel a bit bad about it because I had planned everything. And, when you're a self-published author, I always talk about like the calendar and keeping the calendar and everything. But at the same time, I also got to like make sure that the book that I'm delivering is the best book that I can write and revise and give to the readers, which I know I could still probably do it, but there's a chance that I might not. And then I'm stuck with like something that may not be entirely the way I want it to be. And that would be hard. Like for me, for the readers, maybe it's just for the best product, I need to postpone it. I do believe so. Because even though I can, like right now, I'm telling myself, but maybe if I just work on revising and writing and not take care of the self-publishing business, not taking care of anything else, which would be, I stay at home, I take care of the house as much as I can, and the animals, and the food, and cooking most of the times. My husband cooks on the weekends, but still, like, takes a bit of time to do all of that in addition, and the self-publishing business also takes time, like the business side of it. But even if I were to do that, my brain can't revise or write for 8 hours, 10 hours a day. Like it's draining. It's creatively, but also physically draining to be so engaged in your story. Like I think I can do that, for 6 hours. I've done that in the past. 8 hours, I've done that too, but like that was prior transplant. But even 6 hours of like full concentration on my book, I definitely can do it. I've done it. And I've done it in the recent past. But I would need right now to do more than 8 hours. I would need to do like 10 hours, 12 hours. And I can't do that. I might be able to do that for 2-3 days, but then I would be like burnt out and then I would not be able to finish what I started. And I don't think it's the way that I should be finishing this book. So I'll celebrate my 40th birthday. Probably offline. I won't be. So, that's another thing is like I had planned to publishing on my birthday and to like do it as a celebration. But at the same time, if I don't publish it on my birthday, then I probably will just spend my birthday being my birthday. Anyhow, so these are the considerations on Wednesday. I will go into my current revision process and where I'm at in the revision today for you, because I'm not going to, it's all going to be one episode. So if you just keep on listening and you'll hear more about my revision. And here's the second and here is the second part of this podcast episode. I am recording it on July 29th. It is Thursday, 2 p.m. here in Maryland. It's been a while I've said that, but Plato the dog is snoring next to me. He kind of opened an eye when I said his name. And I am about to do some grocery shopping online. And then I'm going to continue revising. I revised quite a bit this morning. And this morning, I also postponed The Leftover Bride release date to September 14th. So my plan is to be done with the book way earlier than September 14th. But that will also give me some time to like give it to advanced readers and maybe get a few reviews up when the book releases, which might also help release week. So that's where I'm going with that right now. I revised an entire chapter this morning and I started revising the next one. It is going pretty well in the sense that I've added sentences that I think make the book so much stronger. Again, thanks to some comments of my critic partners who may have put like, for now, those were just like, oh, maybe you can expand on this a little and tighten this. And some of the things I Googled today for the revision was, what did I Google? Fashion School California, Institute New York Fashion. I had forgotten the name of the school that she didn't get into. Community College Maryland Fashion Eastern Shore, Community College Maryland Fashion. I also Googled car seat dog, because I know dogs have car seats, and one of the comments that I got in the revision process was, oh, I didn't know that, dogs had special seats, and smaller dogs, as you may know, have some of them have booster seats that you can put them in. And so that's what I meant. And so I figured that I would add a sentence because I don't want anybody stopping thinking what is she talking about? So it's not over explained, I'm not spending a paragraph on it, but I am writing it since she might know, but he might not. And so, yeah, he's adding just a sentence about it. And I came up with one moment that I think works very, very well in this particular revision, which is right at the time, he's thinking about the fact that he had been unfair to Sorka when she had decided after high school not to come with him to the West Coast because she didn't have a school there. She didn't have a spot in a school. She didn't have a job. She didn't have anything. And she didn't want to just give up on her dreams and just follow him everywhere. And he kind of got pissy about it because he has, the reason mainly is because he has a fear of abandonment. And so since he has that fear of abandonment, it plays into his character, right? If it was somebody who did not have any fear of abandonment, then the situation would be different. But this was the case at the time. And so he comes to the realization, or he has come to the realization that he says, I didn't realize I was asking her to give up on her dreams. And then he mentions in another paragraph, I did not fight for her then, just like I didn't fight for her when I escaped Swan's Cove. So it's a bit of realization on his part that, yes, he's doing things because of his abandonment issues, but also the impact that may have on the other person. Because it's one thing, right, to realize why you're doing certain things, or to realize that some of your reactions may come from a certain place and some things maybe that you did not necessarily, totally work through. But then it's another to also realize what kind of impact that has on other people. And those other people might also bring their own, or usually also bring their own experience and past and everything to that particular experience. So it's just something that influences those paragraphs and those pages. So meaning that's not on the page. I am not saying on the page, but now I'm realizing that her reaction to it must be because blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not doing that on the page. What I'm doing on the page is him explaining for now, his perspective by showing. So that's what I'm trying to also do the balance with. It's not only telling what his reaction and what happened, but by showing an example. For example, he has, and right before she left, I'm the one who shrugged when she said that maybe we'd be better off as friends because she always let herself believe we could be more, but we never tried. So he's going into the shrug. He's saying what the meaning behind that shrug was, but I'm not just saying, and right before she left, I thought that maybe I should have said something, but I didn't. No, it's it has the picture of him shrugging and her saying oh, maybe we'd be better off as friends. This is some of what I've been working on in the past 2 days since we came back from holidays. And I've also, so as I was folding laundry and making lunch and, food and dinner and stuff, I started watching Firefly Lane, which was recommended to me by one of my friends. It was good. I hadn't watched it yet. I don't know why I had not watched it yet. It was really good. It was a lot of emotions. I really enjoyed it. And then of course I tried to see which book it was from, and by looking which book it was from, which I didn't know it was from Kristen Hanna, and by looking from which book it was, I kind of got spoilers from the book. I mean, did I know I was going to see spoilers before reading which book it was based on? Like spoilers for season 2, because I didn't look at the spoilers for season 1. I watched the entire first season without looking at spoilers. Did I know I might find out a bit of spoilers about what might happen in season 2 when I started Googling which books they were based on? Yeah, maybe a little. And am I like worried about season 2 and what's going to happen and everything? Yes, very much so. Have you watched it? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments of my blog post if you're going to go on my blog, or you can always leave me a voicemail. I would love to answer your questions. And then next week, I'll continue talking about the revision process and what else I'm working on the business side of self-publishing. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you're having a wonderful summer if it's summer on your hemisphere or wherever you are, whatever season it is. Happy writing if you're a writer, and to everyone, happy reading.